All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're heading to the Himalayas, to Nepal.
Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal. Now, you might be thinking of majestic mountains and ancient temples, right?
Makes sense. It's not exactly known as a tech hub.
Exactly. But, get this, Nepal's IT sector is absolutely booming. And
Huh.
seriously, our source material for this deep dive, it's like peeking through a window into this incredible transformation happening right now.
So it's more than just Sherpas and Mount Everest.
Oh, way more. We're talking cutting-edge tech, global talent, and a digital landscape that's changing rapidly.
Color me intrigued.
Well, one thing that jumped out at me right off the bat, Nepal, despite all the geographic hurdles, is seeing massive growth in its IT sector.
Mm.
Rugged terrain, remote villages, all that.
Yeah, you wouldn't exactly think Silicon Valley when you picture the Himalayas, so how are they pulling this off?
Well, that's what's so fascinating. Our source points to a few key things. First, they're not just riding the wave of global digitalization, they're strategically using it to their advantage.
Strategic. I like that.
Right. And then, the government has been incredibly proactive, putting things in motion like the Digital Nepal Framework. It's this ambitious vision to fully integrate IT into every aspect of their society.
So they're not just dipping their toes in, they're diving headfirst into the digital pool.
Exactly. And it's making waves. Think e-governance, making services more accessible, streamlining everything. It's like they're using technology to leapfrog over some of those traditional development hurdles.
So they're playing smart, not just playing catch up.
Precisely. Now, let's talk infrastructure. The source mentions a big push to expand 4G networks. That's got to be a challenge in a country with that kind of geography, right?
Hugely. But from what I've read, they've actually been incredibly successful. That investment in connectivity has brought the internet to even the most remote areas.
Wow, internet access in the Himalayas, that's got to be a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. And it's creating all these amazing opportunities, education, healthcare, entrepreneurship, you name it. Suddenly, these remote villages aren't so isolated anymore.
I can see how that would fuel the IT boom. One thing the source mentions is the rise of Nepali freelancers. They're making a name for themselves globally, especially in web development and design. What's giving them that competitive edge?
I'd say it's a few things. First off, Nepal is really upping its education game, with all these specialized IT courses and certifications popping up.
So they're building a solid talent pool from the ground up.
Exactly. And second, they're fast learners, like incredibly adaptable to new technologies. That means they can offer high-quality work at competitive rates, which is super attractive to international clients.
So it's a combination of skills and affordability.
Precisely.
But there's a flip side to that, right?
Yeah.
The source brings up the whole brain drain issue. Talented professionals getting lured away by opportunities abroad.
Yeah, that's a real concern. It's a classic dilemma. You invest in education, nurture this amazing talent pool, and then
It gets scooped up by other countries.
pretty much. But there's a growing movement within Nepal to create an environment that keeps those skilled professionals at home.
Okay, so it's not just about training them. It's about giving them reasons to stay.
Exactly. Competitive salaries are part of it, of course. But it's also about fostering a culture of innovation, encouraging entrepreneurship, making Nepal itself a place where they can thrive.
So creating those opportunities within Nepal, beyond individual success stories, how else is this IT boom transforming the economy as a whole?
Well, e-commerce is exploding. Fintech is taking off. We're seeing Nepali startups popping up with really innovative solutions tailored to the local market.
Homegrown innovation, that's got to be exciting.
It is. And there's another interesting trend: outsourcing. More and more international companies are realizing the potential of Nepali talent for things like software development and IT services.
So they're becoming a key player in the global marketplace.
Yeah, and that diversification is really crucial for sustainable growth.
It's a really inspiring story. But let's be real. What are some of the biggest hurdles Nepal's IT sector still has to overcome?
Well, infrastructure is still a major challenge, especially in those more remote areas. They've made huge strides with 4G expansion, but there are still pockets with limited connectivity.
Right, that makes sense.
And that can hinder access to things like online education. It puts a cap on the potential for growth in those regions.
So bridging that digital divide is still a work in progress.
Definitely. And another thing is continued investment in digital literacy, making sure that everyone has the skills to benefit from this digital transformation, not just a select few.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about empowering the people to use it. Looking at Nepal's journey, it really makes you think, could they, with this unique blend of natural beauty and technological ambition, become like a blueprint for other developing nations, like a model for how to leverage IT for economic growth.
It's definitely a compelling case study. Nepal is proving that even with geographic and economic challenges, strategic planning and investment in education can turn a country into a vibrant hub for technology and entrepreneurship.
It's a story of resilience and transformation.
Uh,
Definitely worth keeping an eye on. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for our deep dive into Nepal's IT scene. Hopefully, this has given you a new perspective on this incredible country and its place in the digital world.
I know, I've learned a lot.
Me too. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.